situation is reserved for drivers who are a good bit below the cut line points. But you're someone who's right up close, but the cut line is moving further away as we get new winners. Do you feel as though you're in a must-win situation?
I'm going to keep that pressure on myself like I am. And the reason being is, Chris last year was pretty pointed his way in. Final race, and new winner. So you're never safe. I'm not saying we're going to, but if we had 7 or however many new winners, you need to be one of them. So that's where my focus is, and that's where everybody at RFK, that's where the focus is at. So, I feel like we are a strong enough team to do it and not just kind of end up in the right situation and everything that falls our way. I feel like we can capitalize, be aggressive, and be one of those guys that race their way, won their way in.
About Chicago next week. Been hampered by rain the first 2 years, but just how do you feel about that race and how it's fit into the schedule last week?
Honestly, I've enjoyed the fact that it's rained. And the reason I've enjoyed it is because it kind of shakes things up. A street course is really tough. It's very tough to pass. So when you have moments like rain and other kind of like things you can't predict, it makes it a little bit more exciting, opens up the box for strategy. So I've enjoyed it. I think it'll be different if we go there and there isn't rain.
How pivotal is a weekend like this, considering all the potential to get a ton of stage points and finish well versus the high likelihood of getting a crash in terms of the playoff?
Well, I think if you race safe, you're giving up track position, you're giving up stage points. Talladega went really well for us when we just raced hard the entire time, and that's what I'm going to do as well, because this is a little bit different from Talladega and Daytona, where typically if you look at super speedways, the crashes have happened on the front row. I don't think they're necessarily going to happen on the front row here. I think they're going to probably be on that 10th to 15th area on back. So my goal is to be aggressive and get as many stage points as we can to help ourselves have a cushion if you do have a wreck. But I'm fully intending on racing for the win and stage points.
With the in-season challenge, how intuitive have the drivers been? Is there trash talk, bragging rights?
No, I almost feel like it's David versus Goliath a little bit. I'm the higher seed, but I'm going against Byron, who's the point leader. So that was a little bit challenging, but we've been really strong. So I feel like it's a great little, I don't know how many weeks it is. Was it 5 weeks or something like that? It's a great 5-week stretch to have something, to build some buzz. So Byron, you're going down, bud.
So you've been with 3 different teams in the NASCAR Cup Series. What's it been like to see that out of all the teams you've been with, RFK Racing, you've had the most success so far in the season where you're basically in the playoffs, in on points? What's that been like to see the trajectory of your Cup career to now where you're at RFK Racing and almost in the playoffs?
I think it's just been a good fit. Between being teammates with Brad and Chris, I say this all the time. Chris has always been really good to me, and I would say I've gotten to know Brad pretty well over the past 6-7 months, and he's been awesome to work with. And I think for me, it's just a different perspective on how to approach the weekends. And I think we all just kind of have very similar personalities, so it's clicked really well. Definitely thankful for Jack, Brad, the Fenway Group, everybody at RFK for the race cars that we bring to the racetrack and the consistency, because definitely focusing on me and continuing to improve.
Is the point like something